Ladies and gentlemen, boys and envies, welcome back to Hellstorm Wargaming. My name's Mikey, and welcome to this live stream. How you all doing? Well, we've got a doozy today. It's Lawyer Week, as Andy has pointed out. It's fucking Lawyer Week once again, gamers. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got two big stories, two big ones. One from Games Workshop, and the other about Games Workshop. So it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. So hello, welcome in, say hi, say hello. My name's Mikey. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Hope we're all doing well. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope you had a wonderful weekend as well. Let me know what you've been up to. Let me know what you've been up to this weekend. Have you been doing anything fun? Anything exciting? Anything emotional? Anything just pretty sick? Let me know. I released a video about Iron Hands and White Scars. Very cool, very epic. Got banned on Reddit once again because Reddit is fucking shit. Having a great day. Having a great day, dude. Well, weekend, should I say. And I'll kick off my evening with the one and only G Fuel. Escalation point G Fuel in chat if you like energy drinks but want to cut down on your sugar and intake and you want to get good caffeine with no crashes. And it's healthier and it comes in a cool powder. And the idea of drinking a powder that's tasty is really sick. Escalation point G Fuel in chat. So, yeah, do that. So, welcome in. Say hello. Say hi. Again, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm going to catch up with you, chat. I'm just trying to get all my powder out. It's very tasty. We've got Sonic Peach Rings today, which is a very tasty flavour. If you're in the US, they've got even more flavours that aren't allowed in the UK. Very sad. Very jealous. Very sad. Very jealous. What can I say? So, I'm just trying to get all the good shit out. All the good shit. Get a little shake. Oh, so good. Look at that. Sonic flavor in a Sonic cup. We love that. But I'm going to be doing a video about it soon, like a short, because I've actually got the new formula. Look at that. We've got the old formula, the hype sauce, which is probably my favorite flavor. This is probably my favorite flavor. I've got the 2.0 version, which I'm excited to try. New and improved. The hype sauce is pretty good, so I don't know how they're going to improve it, but we'll find out, I guess. So I'll do a little short or something about it soon. So welcome in. Let me say hello. Thanks everyone for saying hi. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope everyone's doing well. I like it when this guy streams. Gaming with Guts. I like it when I stream too because you watch. And you also like. There's 70 people watching. 6 likes. I really appreciate it. If you click like, that'd be really cool. Let's go gamers, says Arhane. It is pretty gay to watch Hellstorm Wargaming, not gonna lie. Evening, glad to see you aren't using Vodafone for your interwebs. What's up with Vodafone? Are they down today? Everybody ready for IP Lawyer Mikey to come back out? Yeah, I am an IP lawyer, it turns out. I'm a trademark lawyer last week. This week, IP lawyer. You know what I mean? It's like one of those, like, you know, like when you were a kid and you did, like, work experience. I'm at a solicitor's. Last week, trademark. This week, copyright. You know what I mean? And unfair competition. Hellstorm Wargaming now, Mikey. You set a high bar to baiting the gammon last week. Needs a quick start today. I did bait the gammons last week. By bait them, I just mean I called them weird. I just called them fucking weird, you know, let's be honest. Not another one. Yeah, we got a big one. Look at all this. We'll start spoilers for the first time. Look at all these tabs I've got to go through. There's like 20. It's crazy. It's a big evening. It's a big evening. Good evening, Marty Marv. How you doing? I've mostly been painting red, says Mike Paints Red. Nice. Like it. Like it. I won Armies on Parade. Oh, congratulations, Dan. Well done. Make sure you post a picture in the model showcase and say, I won, and post a picture of your trophy. And then you can gloat on people like I do. Great job, mate. Ty winning. Hello. How are you? Andy Drama. It is kind of a bit of a drama. Hey folks, bit of news. New little Hellstormer Ren was born Friday morning. Bless it. Oh, congratulations, James. Tom's just had a kid, and they've also called them Ren. Ren is in fashion. 2025, Ren. 2013, Khaleesi. You know what I mean? 1960, Karen. Really popular names. Had a fun weekend running a demo of the Old World RPG. Great game, I heard. Great game. I had a lot of fun playing it. Mike Arthur! Mike Arthur? What's up with Mike Arthur? Appreciate you. Thank you for joining the boys club. Appreciate you. What a legend. What a legend. Thank you, Des, for posting G Fuel link. Appreciate you. Fuel is mid and chalky. Well, we'll have to see what Hype Source 2 is like. You know what I mean? I like it. I don't think it's that chalky. You painted today? Free thinker? No, I'm not. I will not paint like the woke mind virus wants me to. I will talk about the gossip instead. Vodafone is fucked today. Yikers. I mean, George would be fine. George is on Vodafone. Weird. We had a Halloween party this weekend, and I used Hellstorm Red to spray paint a message on a dummy. Why are you having a Halloween party on the 9th of October? Have you got so many booked in that you're going to have one every weekend? I mean, fair play. Hello, 07. Mike Hart, thank you for joining the boys club, mate. Make sure you join the Discord if you haven't already. At least it wasn't my cunt. Great, great, cool, cool, cool. Dear. So what's been up with me? I've been doing the old White Scars Iron Hand stuff. I've been painting a Cadoc Var. It's not a real one. I've been painting one. So I'm hopefully going to be playing Iron Hands on stream on Friday, which would be really cool, using the new detachment. But like the new Space rerolls are crazy. Honestly, they're absolutely crazy. Because they don't have a faction restriction like the other ones, chat. We're going to talk about faction packs in a minute. But, like, you know, like, the new Space Marine detachments, they've all, like, this is Shadow Mark Talon, and it's basically the other one from Space Marines, but only Raven Guard. And then the new ones don't have that. So, like, I'm having a game on Thursday at Comp Club. Like, I run every single Thursday at Outpost. Check it out. Do I run the new Stormlands detachment Spearpoint Task Force? Because it's just better. I read the Goonhammer article after I premiered the video. I went and read the Goonhammer article, and they were like, this lacks damage output. And I was like, bro, this detachment is overall just better, barring the fact that you've lost Lance. But, I mean, do you need it? Everything's fucking strength 14 or 8, you know what I mean? But, like, the new White Scars detachment is crazy good. Crazy, crazy good. I think. Fall back and shoot is something I was desperate for. Because I'm fed up of my dreadnoughts getting tagged. And I'm like, ugh, if I fall back, I can charge back in and get fight first. But I've got 5 attacks, that's it. I'm not chewing through a unit. But fall back, shoot, and charge for 1 CP. With G-Man? Make it free? Is it supposed to be faction locked? I don't know. They might go, yo, guys, look. We sent this out to creators. We forgot to send the points, and we also forgot to send the FAQ or the clarification. And then I'll be really sad. Fall back and shoot, just play Gladius, mate. No, because I want to advance and charge every single turn. You know? I want to advance and charge every turn, not just the one turn that my opponent expects it. Because now I like auto-advancing Gulliman, and then moving like 14, and then charging. You know what I mean? Like Gulliman popping through 14 inches is actually on steroids. The new Iron Hands attachment is busted. I don't think it's busted. It seems really good though, compared to the first. When you compare it to dog shit, it's fucking insane. Yeah, I don't think it's busted. I think it's pretty good. But no one cares about my opinion because I posted it on Reddit and got banned from it. I posted it on r/Warhammer competitive, and there was a guy in my comments who was like, where the fuck is the PDF? Why do I have to listen to this guy rambling for 12 minutes or 8 minutes? It was a 20-minute video, by the way. I don't want to listen to this guy rambling for 20 minutes. And I was like, I can't show you the PDF. And he was like, pussy, release the PDF. One that's got my name all over it, by the way. Release the PDF and leak it. No, you'd rather profit off it. It was crazy. So then I posted it on Reddit, and then he went there and complained as well. And I was like, you'll have to wait for Games Workshop if you want to read the PDF. Then I got downvoted to shit, and then my post got removed. Fucking wankers, mate. Fucking wankers, dude. End of edition Iron Hands take over per usual. I don't think so, no. I don't think they'll take over. I think they're good. I think they're playable. I don't think they're crazy, though. Personally, don't think they're crazy. It might be proven wrong. Any updates on the C Studios Wallbook fiasco? Not really. Not really, to be honest. There was like a little bit, if you watch my video, that like kind of went through the entire timeline, there was like mention of like Joe and George kind of going, we're going to be looking at what we're doing in the future in terms of content creation. And then they were like, and then I saw that there was a post on their Patreon saying that they're postponing the podcast, which I think is pretty shit, to be honest. I do think it's pretty shit. They are definitely in hot water, deservedly in hot water. But like, I don't think that I don't want the outcome to be like, oh, the podcast ends and people lose their jobs and stuff like that. That's no one's intention, is that. Pointing out stupidity, yeah, fair enough. But like, if they if that's the case, that's going to be really shit, to be honest. So, but you know, actions mean consequences sometimes. You know what I mean? Do stupid things, win stupid prizes. If that's the case, that's the case. But like, it's not something I would wish on them. Content creator doesn't want to leak stuff that will stop him getting more stuff. Yeah, I can't even. If I leak the PDF that Games Workshop give me, like in their eyes, I won't receive everything else ever again. Which I mean, I won't be losing much at this point because the fucking dog shit are getting back to me. But like everything I made in the video, I remade it. You know what I mean? I remade it all for the video so people could actually like have a look at something rather than just like me talking at a camera. And like, if you really want to, just fucking screenshot it. You know what I mean? I remade it like almost one for one because I really enjoy Photoshop. I like photoshopping stuff, and having an excuse to make something look one for one is fun in my eyes. If you want to just read it, send it to your friend, just screenshot the video, crop me out. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stop you doing it. So, so anyway, they see you should lay low for a while. Yeah. Maybe wait a couple of weeks, put out a podcast later. Just like go. Sorry again, guys. Carry on. 003 roll wounds of 1 plus 1 to wound seems pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good, I won't lie. It is pretty damn good. I don't think they're like broken crazy good, but like I think they are pretty strong. Tempest Terrain, how you doing? Chat, I was using my widget on stream. Well, actually, I wasn't. Billy and Magoo were using my new widgets on stream. Exclamation point widget in chat. This is the assault gauge. We got these new measurement widgets. As you can see, comes with a keyring. How cool's that? Hang out your car keys. Manage to drive around. Well, what's that? Don't worry about it. 9 inches. Are you happy to see me? Is that 9 inches on your keys? You know what I mean? That's what I like to say. Are you happy to see me? Is that 9 inches in your pocket? And I'm like, it folds out, bro. You know? So, exclamation point widget in chat. It's a great widget, says Andy. Thank you for the 37 months, dude. Thank you for the 37 months. What a legend.
Tech Dad celebrates 37
what a
months
beast.
of membership. It's a great widget.
It's a great widget. Look at that. I'm a grower. Oh, I'm a grower and a shower. You know what I mean? I hang it on my keys. But you can check it out using the link. You support me, support independent creator, designing cool shit, and I get a little kickback. So, and you get a little thing. You get a little thing that I can shake at the camera. It's fun. Anyway, chat. Have you done a black made easy recipe on a vehicle? I haven't done a vehicle specifically, but the concepts are the same. The concepts are the same. Basically, just follow the guide, but then when you painting the model with the contrast, just like do it in sections and let it dry. That's all I'd recommend. Chat, last week, Games Workshop had like quite a big update on their website, you might remember. It came out on Wednesday. I didn't look too much into it. I kind of just gave it a glance over, said I didn't know this was happening. I'm not reading all of this. But you might know that they put out faction packs last week. Faction packs. And in theory, these are really cool. These are really like a nice idea, in theory. The idea of a faction pack is rather than having updates, FAQs, detachments, all of this stuff, all spread all over. James, thank you for the 19 months, dude. What a fucking legend. On my second tin of Reliquary Red. Let's go, dude.
Member, James Sten.
Thank you, James.
19 months of membership. On my second tin of Reliquary Red.
Let's go, dude.
So my new fave color.
It's such a sick color.
Emoji. Smiley face emoji.
Thank you for the 19 months, dude. Really appreciate it. What a fucking legend, dude. What an absolute legend. Before I continue with the faction packs, probably tell my Discord that I've gone live. Sorry, I need to tell my Discord that I've gone live. It's a day that ends in Y, so drama time. Sorry. Yeah, so they release these faction packs, and the idea of it is like all of your detachments, FAQs, updates, etc. is all in one place. Now, the one thing I don't like about it is the fact that all the legends legends data sheets are also in the faction packs, which I understand the idea of putting the legends data sheets in a faction pack, but like when it's something like Space Marines and I have to load 173 pages when 160 of them or 150 of them are data sheets that me personally won't be using, you know. I understand it from like a concept point of view. They want to put everything into one document, so it's all there. You click one button and it's all there for you. But like, I personally wish they didn't have legends, and legends was a different document, you know what I mean? Faction pack, legends pack, you know what I mean? Personally. However, there's been a little bit of an issue. As you can see, they are all uploaded on the 8th of October 2025, which obviously was 5 days ago, like Wednesday or whatever it was. However, this date is like misleading. This is when this pack was uploaded. However, I believe how they're hosting them has changed, because in the 180-page document for Space Marines, this new FAQ has been changed, and it was uploaded on Friday, which was not the 8th of October, it was the 10th of October. It says, which detachments are considered to be Codex Space Marine detachments? It says, every detachment printed in Codex Space Marines and every detachment included in Space Marines faction pack. This is, obviously, you know, by the by, I like this rule. Fine, cool. This wasn't in the faction pack on the 8th of October, yet if you scroll to Space Marines, where's Space Marines? I can't fucking find them because they have this placeholder for an image and then just don't use it, you know. Yeah, so faction pack Space Marines 8th of October, as you can see. So it says it was updated on the 8th of October, but it was actually updated on the 10th. So the date doesn't even match. So I think the way they're hosting them and uploading them is slightly changed on the website, where they don't upload it, they just update it and it relinks it. Fine, whatever. But there's a change here that is completely different from any FAQ. Now, it is marked in red, but obviously they haven't shown that it's been updated after the 8th. So if you read this on the 8th, you haven't seen this yet, because you look and you go, oh, it hasn't been updated. It's the same. That's kind of annoying, but it's a very minor issue. However, their big issue with the faction packs is, I think a lot of them are shit. I think a lot of them are not worth the PDF that you download to put on them, because in the Leagues of Votann faction pack, as an example, it says page 107, Brandfast Oathband, secure positions effect, change the effect to, you know, that unit can't declare charges the same turn, but otherwise act normally in the remainder of the turn. Okay, this is the you know, get in or get out of a transport, essentially. Sorry, it's get out of a transport. And it says the effect is you can't charge. Now, this stratagem, when it first came out, didn't have that. But the issue wasn't really the fact that they can't charge. It was the timing. Because it said end of any phase. Now, being able to disembark a unit at the end of any phase is pretty brutal. Because it can be used to, I don't know, at the end of a shooting phase, pop a unit out to deny a charge. It can be used to hold primary earlier. It can be used to deny primary late on. Now, Games Workshop know this because they actually updated the stratagem. Not only the time, the effect, but also the timing. This was on the 17th of September 2025. It says change to when end of any of your phases if your army have the hostile acquisition. Whereas currently it just says any phase if your unit has a hostile acquisition. So what it changes is it allows you to disembark within 6 of the transport during any part of your turn, which is still pretty good. You know what I mean? Move, advance, end of the move phase, get out normally, all that stuff, you know what I mean? Get out in the command phase to score primary because your opponent tried to take it off you. You know, get out so you can do a charge. Get out so you can, you know, do some shenanigans in your own turn, which doesn't feel as bad as at end of any phase. Now, the thing is with it is this was 17th of September, and this faction pack was uploaded last week, and it's only half the effect that's changed, you know? So the issue is that the faction packs could or may or may not be completely out of date. I haven't been through every single one, but there's just 2 examples of like the idea of faction packs is really cool, but here's 2 fuck-ups already, and we are less than a week into having them. That they're being changed, and the date isn't changing to say it's been updated, and the fact that they have the wrong rules in, or old rules, or outdated rules. So the idea of faction pack is like it's not very good because because they're not up to date. Have you seen any updates or changes in the faction pack that were an FAQ last week and now aren't an FAQ or un-FAQ'd or completely different to what you'd expect? Let me know in the comments down below, you know, because like it's a bit of a shame that we've got this big push and then they're all just like shit. Like I said, I think the concept of a faction pack having everything on one document makes sense, and it's got table of contents and it's got change logs, you know what I mean? You can see where everything is, but if it's just not, if it's not up to date, what are we doing? Then we're already getting the conversation. I had the conversation the day it came out. Someone in Parasocial was like, do I use the app or do I use the faction pack? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's just an absolute shit show. So I'd just say for now, use the app, because I think if this was a planned change, the app would have updated with all the new information, but it just hasn't. It hasn't changed right now. It's all currently as it was a week ago, like the same FAQs, but then the faction packs are different. So it feels like what they've done is gone, we're going to upload this all in one place. Someone's been working on it, and then they've pushed the update and not gone, oh shit, there's been a balanced data slate and multiple FAQs since I started working on this, so now I've uploaded it, it's all wrong. And you don't have, we don't have access to the old FAQs outside of the app. That's all we've got to go off right now. So yeah, just be careful if you're playing games. I wouldn't recommend using the faction pack as like a point of contact for like, you know, like the update of like, I wouldn't use the faction pack as like a place to check FAQs. I would just use the app right now, because the faction packs clearly can't be trusted right now. Check the GSC updates. I get to roll a dice 5 up for every unit that dies. No way. Oh no. Chat, it doesn't even, it's not even the rule. This is an FAQ for a rule that isn't real anymore. Perhaps it's intention to use a paid app, but the app's free. For what we're talking about, the app is free. Bro. Change. Change it. It's just fucking... Is this just wrong? Isn't this just wrong? Don't they have the point system now where they summon stuff? Wasn't this note last year? Page 69, nice. Wasn't this last year? They do this were basically all based on the characters there, but the data set offers just rewrites a bunch of stuff. Oh, is it in the balanced data slate? Okay. That's less ridiculous then. So they've FAQ'd it, but then not got rid of it, because the FAQ is still in the app as well. They FAQ'd it, but they changed it in the balanced data slate. 40k is really easy to get into, chat. 40k is a really simple game, don't forget. So yeah, anyway, like Leagues of Votan and Space Marines are two prime examples of like the faction pack in theory not working at all. Because like you'd hope they would work and they'd make sense, but like clearly there's like an issue, right? So very odd, very, very odd. So yeah, just be careful if you're playing 40k right now. Trust the app, not the faction packs. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. We got the main story tonight about the old lawsuit. The old lawsuit, chat, you know? Servitors have a similar issue where the FAQ for the penitent host detachment, well, you must choose a bonus and will run out after 10-3, but the data slate changes the detachment rule entirely. Yeah, yeah, they do that a few times. I don't know why they don't just change it all, but I guess it's like, well, actually, if you don't play competitive, the old rules are still in play, and it's like everybody just uses the balanced data slate. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Everyone just uses the balanced data slate. Who needs AI to screw up rules right when you have GW Design Studio? At this point, and people know me, I think AI would do a better job. At this point, I think AI will probably do a better job, you know what I mean? Anyway, chat. Kind of a big news story that's kind of blowing up right now. There is a video called Games Workshop is Suing Me. And it's by a YouTube account called Ghamak. Now, Ghamak is an Italian 3D printing sculptor, 3D model sculptor that makes Warhammer adjacent models. You know? They make Warhammer adjacent models. And it's like there's a video 3 minutes long because the founder is claiming that Games Workshop is suing him. So we're gonna have a look at the video and go over some of the points, you know. The problem with the Votan mix up though, it's only mentioned in the app, it's not in any documents in the download section. Yeah, but it was a week ago. You know? The Votan mix-up was in the download sections a week ago, and now it's not because I've replaced it with a faction pack, which is clearly out of date. You know? Mad that the faction packs are the most current update for army rules and aren't the most current. Yeah, literally. Anyway, let's have a look at the video Because I was aware of this guy, or this creator, should I say, this team, because it isn't just one guy, it's like 12 people by the sound of it. I was aware of some of the models. I thought they was pretty good. Like, conceptually, like a very good designer. But I wasn't aware of a lawsuit until this video dropped. So let's have a look. Let's do some copyright sleuthing. Look, lawyer hat's on, chat. Lawyer expert. Copyright expert hat is on. Let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Francesco Pizzo and I've been sculpting miniatures since 2002. It started as a hobby and gradually became my life work. My first model was rough, but I was proud of it. I kept learning, first with green stuff and Fimo, then with Blender and ZBrush. I worked for many...
They're like some like really nice designs, you know what I mean?
ZBrush.
I know obviously like this one's like a whip and stuff, but like that's a really cool design. That's a really cool design, you know? I'm putting the L on my forehead. How are those books floating? He's a wizard. Maybe that's why I was being sued. Don't want the secret to get out.
I worked for many companies like Paolo Parente Dust Studios, Ludus Magnus, and even received an offer from Games Workshop through Forge Award. But I didn't accept it to stay close to my family in Italy.
Chat, I found the reason why this video exists. I found the reason why this video exists. He was like, they were like, bro, you're so sick, take a job. And then he was like, nah, fam, I'll do my own thing. Nah, I'm gonna do it my own way. And now look at him, being sued to high heaven.
In 2018...
What's with the fucking set change, bro? What's with the set change and the t-shirt change? I love his accent. Go, bro, don't go to Italy. You'll be wiped out. He lives in a cave. No, I just wasn't expecting like a jump cut to a different setting in like kind of like a very serious video. Should have taken the job. Should have put the prize in the bag. You know what I mean? If you put the fries in the bag at Forge World.
I launched Ghamak, a Patreon where I released the originally sculpted 3D printables miniatures for wargames, RPG and collectors. It was meant to be a side project, but it grew into a full-time job, where I no longer work alone, but with a team of about 12 people. In 2023,
quite a large operation, you know what I mean? Like a company that now. He mentions Patreon. He has My Mini Factory where he sells files individually. He has Tribes, which is the same as Patreon. You know, and it's like it's quite a large operation of like 12 people essentially running from a single Patreon. That's pretty impressive. Ghamak was able to sculpt this in a cave with a box of green stuff. Classic. Absolute classic. He is in a cave, clearly.
Received a legal letter from Games Workshop. They initially accused me of infringing copyright on their models.
Okay, so that is the claim. That is the initial claim. 2023, when Games Workshop seems to have a bit of a tirade, because I think what they do is they like hire a legal team to kind of like they kind of like release the hounds, as it were, you know what I mean? Mr. Burns release the hounds when they've got a bit of spare legal cash, and then they die down for a little bit, and then they do it again. We've seen it multiple times. They've just done a more recent one of just like they just hunted down like 50 to 150 websites or something. But yeah, that's the main claim. Is Games Workshop sent him a cease and desist, or because they're copyright infringement. So copyright infringement referring to the things that Games Workshop have trademarked or they're well known for, are the things that are unique to them that they've designed. They're claiming that Ghamak as a company have taken those designs and profited from them, so they're suing them for copyright infringement. Now, usually the case is with these sorts of things is you kind of get a cease and desist first, which is a bit of a slap on the wrist and being like, please stop doing this. We will have to chase this up if you don't comply, you know. And then it's up to like the person who is having a cease and desist to either cease and desist. If they do, usually nothing follows. And if they don't, it usually has more legal proceedings. So like, you know, that's when they have to do like, I can't remember what they called it. But that's when they start hunting and being like, are these designs actually close to my designs, you know? And then we have to like put it in front of a judge and find out. But that's the main claim. Copyright infringement 2023. He's a Tony Stark of model making, being kept in a cave to make miniatures. Twist, he made copyright infringing power armor to escape.
Their models. They wanted nearly 90% of our catalog removed without providing a specific list. They requested all data on our business and collaborators, and demand we sign away our creative rights for the future.
So, 90% of the catalogue, but didn't describe a list. So I'm curious to see what they said, how they would like describe 90% of the catalog. They say they want 150, like 100, like 180 of 200 designs taken down. Just like that'll do. Take down 180, we'll call it a day. You know. And then, but also the interesting one is like all the data
on our business and collaborators.
Like asking for all of the data is really crazy. Like of like collaborators and stuff like that. But I imagine that's just like information about who's been designing so they can keep an eye on them as well. That's what I like. It's just like an initial watch, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm not a lawsuit expert. And signing away creative rights, so the base of that means give up 90% of your catalogue, do not fucking release anything ever again, by the sounds of it, you know?
And demand that we sign away our creative rights for the future.
Is that GDPR compliant? As someone who's also not a GDPR expert, I imagine there's probably some lawsuit loopholes in there. You know?
Tried it over and over to start a dialogue, but they refused. Now Games Workshop have taken me to court, not for copyright infringement, but claim I was engaging in an unfair competition.
So yeah, like the initial cease and desist sounds like it was for copyright infringement. You know, take down 90% of your catalogue because we own it. Give us your creative rights because we own it, basically. And then after he ignored them, they're now suing for unfair competition, which is probably the most surprising thing about it, you know? And it seems very, very odd, you know? I don't understand the idea of going after him for unfair competition, unless that's just referring to the fact that because he sells STLs, which are far cheaper, it's unfair for him to release these compared to Games Workshop that have to spend thousands on plastic molding, injection molding and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, it's definitely an odd one. Because if he was like, I'm being sued for copyright infringement, I'm going to court, I'd be like, yeah. You know what I mean? But like, for the fact that it's like unfair competition, again, I'm not an expert, you know? I'm just going to Google lawsuit unfair competition and then hope it's really simple. Let's go. Unfair competition claims allow businesses and business owners to recover losses resulting from another's unfair, fraudulent, or deceptive business practices. Because unfair competition claims arise under state law, the precise contours of the claim can vary by state. Because they're suing from Florida as well. Probably because like comedy is legal in the US. You know what I mean? A wide variety of misconduct can qualify as unfair competition. Defective business practices such as false advertising, bait and switch selling tactics, or false claims concerning the origin and characteristics of a company's goods and services can qualify. Trade libel, where a company falsely disparages another company's products or services, can qualify as unfair competition. Maybe it's something to do with this. This is why they're going for unfair competition, you know? Look up Italian unfair competition law. That's a great shout. Let me find. I don't want to open AI, but I want this line. Nope, this isn't going to be it. Right, chat, just listen. I know it's cost us like a field of water to read this, but Italian unfair competition law, primarily governed by Article 2598 of the Civil Code and overseen by the Italian Competition Authority, prohibit acts that create confusion with the competitor's business, such as misuse of names, lavish imitation of products, and spreading damaging information. So if this is correct, it's because of this, right? You know? It's because it's imitation of products. Mikey emptied the lakes for this. Look, I just Googled it. I didn't choose. No, I don't want to dive deeper. Get out. So it's probably... So this is the big story of like... of this lawsuit is the fact that... it's all about unfair competition. But if it's just because in Italy, unfair competition counts as copyright infringement... Not to discredit the video already, but isn't that a bit sketch? You know what I mean? Isn't that a bit weird to be like, that's the main... They're suing for unfair competition, but unfair competition is just copyright? Slavish. My apologies. Anyway,
now
let's
Games
listen.
Workshop have taken me to court, not for copyright infringement, but claim I was engaging in an unfair competition.
Because that's the thing, right? Not for copyright infringement. For unfair competition. Definitely sets it up to be weird, you know what I mean? Because, like, what else can they sue him for? Is it because he makes a cheaper version? Nah, you can't be sued for that, you know what I mean? You know? Otherwise, every roller cola brand would be fucked, you know what I mean? But if unfair competition in Italy means copyright infringement, why is he saying not copyright infringement? Odd.
All because my miniatures called out so used in their games. They are not simply targeting my life's work on Ghamak. This is a challenge to the very idea that an independent creator can offer alternative miniatures compatible with their games. I believe this is wrong. And if
we're taking this video verbatim, yes, I do believe that is also wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like, if it's the fact that someone else makes miniatures that could also be used in a game because they're the same size and they have guns and swords, that would be a very unfair way to use a lawsuit to try and shut down, like, quote unquote competition. That'd be like a super unfair way, you know what I mean? And it would be like any miniature ever sold by anyone other than Games Workshop could be used in a Games Workshop game, so you could sue them for it if this was the case. But like I said, I know I'm only 2 minutes into a 3-minute video and I'm talking all over it. But like, what are we doing here? If the unfair competition just means copyright infringement, this might be a little bit misleading.
Don't fight back, Games Workshop could target every artist in our industry. Let's stand up to corporate bullying together. Our goal is getting to the bottom of this. The court will clarify where Games Workshop rights ends and where artistic freedoms begins. Not just for us, but for all the hundreds of companies and artists who live in fear of the life's work being taken away by a billion-dollar corporation. With your support, we can fight back. The very artists who helped build this community from the ground up are receiving a cease.
Probably doesn't help while she's talking about Games Workshop overreaching when you have a one-to-one copy of The Mandalorian and Yoda, which probably designed by you, in the background, you know, if we're talking about government, corporate overreach of like copyright infringement, probably not the best time to have that in the background.
These letters. We can let this continue. That's why I'm asking for your help. We are far from over the lawsuit, but the legal costs are overwhelming, and there is no doubt that Games Workshop wants us to bend the knee. If you have ever supported independent artists or believe in creative freedom, please donate what you can and share this campaign.
So quite a powerful video. Excuse my my fucking recommended. Quite a powerful video, you know. It's had 85,000 views in 4 days. I know I'm actually a little bit late to this because it was the weekend. But yeah, 85,000 views regarding the Games Workshop is suing me. And there's a GoFundMe that has currently raised 35,000 euros of, ironically, 40,000 euros goal. And it's mostly a repeat of the statement, you know what I mean? It says, GW demanded that I delete almost all the models in Ghamak catalogue, claiming that my models were breaching their copyright. However, GW did not provide a list of specific models to remove. They did not explain how Ghamak's models were infringing on GW's intellectual property. So this is quite a large claim, you know? This is quite a large claim, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're asking me to take it down, whilst it might be obvious to us, Games Workshop should provide what he's infringing on and why. Kind of like the lawsuits we looked at when they all leaked, when the like 300 websites all got contacted at once, and it was like, here's a Terminator Space Marine helmet, and the Galactic Armory one, you know, here's a Terminator Space Marine, and here's a Terminator knockoff that you've made, get it taken down, you know. Just seeing that recommended. Can we watch that video next? Which video are you referring to? Which one was it? The deep fried conspiracy? Or is it mine? My video that's been recommended to me.
2002.
So yeah, so a lot of people donating, 34 grand donated so far. We finally started touching ourselves. Great video. And yeah, so this is the one. It's like, Games Workshop asked me to hand over sensitive business data and demanded me sign a contract that in practice will prevent me to make new models in the future. They are essentially trying to shut their company down completely, you know, for unfair competition, which currently we don't know just yet. You know what I mean? Like, what does unfair competition actually mean? And then he says, below you can find some examples of models GW claims are counterfeit. Should remove each image shows Ghamak allegedly counterfeit models on the left and Games Workshop's models on the right. Okay, so these are the counterfeit ones. So we got a guy in a dragon versus guy in a horse, a Roman knight. Like, nowhere near. You know what I mean? Nothing. Like a Roman or Greek guy riding a lion. Nowhere near. You know? That one's quite funny. That's a big fuck up by GW, I think. Trying to claim an eagle is crazy, bro. Trying to claim an eagle is crazy, dude. Absolutely wild. We've got the casket of souls on alligators. Nowhere near, dude. What's this? Oh, nowhere near. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, you have to put this. That's very funny. So, like, you know, they're like what they're showing, you know, here's the video, here's the big statement, here's the Games Workshop corporate overreach, you know what I mean? The corporate overreach, crazy, you know? And I think, like I said, like Ghamak, or the company of Ghamak, is that's at the end. Ignore this. Completely, like, really talented. And some of these models, you know, they're like You can see some similarities, don't get me wrong. These are ones that I've picked up today. You know, you can see some similarities, but like, they're pretty original. You know, they're pretty original. You know, even these, I would say. Now, you could say these are Black Templars. You know, you could say these are Black Templars, but they're like similar but different. You know what I mean? They're very, very similar but different enough. I feel so unbelievably based purely on the information he's providing, but I'm waiting for a reveal of, well, actually, are the ones that are identical. Well, you know, like, quite original. Dwarf guy with a hat. You know what I mean? That's totally fine. We've got monster with cannon, a big alien with cannon. Chat, you can see where we're going, you know what I mean? Let's skip ahead. Even this one is quite original. You know? Even this one is quite original, as is this one. However, these are the ones that I've gathered. However, oh yeah, he's holding a sword and a shield, but that's a storm cannon, that's a grav flux, and that's a claw and a drill. Don't you think there might be some similarities on this one? I don't know. If it's not the body shape, if it's not the guns, which are, you know, ever so slightly different. The claw is fairly similar. This is fairly similar to a storm cannon, except that it's 2 barrels, not 4. The shape of the body is like identical. The fucking leg plates are identical. You know, putting skulls and wings on stuff isn't copyright, but like, if the silhouette's there, it's identical. Yeah, big time. This is absolutely crazy, dude. How has he been able to sell this for so long? Oh, it's because he ignored them in 2023, that's why. Which 2 years later, and he's only just saying something about it. This one? This is wild. Look at that. It's the same. The only difference here is, okay, the armor panels are slightly different shaped. But and he's got a skull for a mask, but come on, dude. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but these are just some pictures I found on the internet I put together on a thing and called it Wraith Night. Even the backpack, like the vents are identical. The ribs coming off, the weapon shapes are almost identical. The legs are slightly different. That's about it. Chat, it doesn't end. Chat, it doesn't end. If you just put the sword down slightly, completely different. Put the sword down slightly, still stood on a marine and a rock. He stood on a fucking space marine, bro. Bro, he stood on a space marine. Chat, this isn't what he's provided. This is just what I went on my mini factory for like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, they're pretty close. You know? I was on my mini factory for 5 minutes and was like, oh no, fucking, what's that supposed to be, I wonder? You know? It's a tactical space marine. His lawyers ain't winning this one. The lawyers are like, yeah, we're just going to need a little bit more money for this one. The Hellbrute? I mean, they're waging war engine. Bro. Bro. Are you kidding? Are you having a laugh, dude? Even like like, the Chaos Star isn't copyright. You can't copyright a Chaos Star, okay? But, like, the positioning of where you have said Chaos Star is copyrightable. You know what I mean? And you're not even trying, bro. This is like low effort. Like the feet are the same. The fact it's got a skull here and then armor plates here. The horns coming out of the top. The rider you can kind of look past, but it's like the star, like the trim is like almost identical. We have Hellbrutes at home. And then the last one. Like, bro.
Mikey! Super chat £5. This is giving the purple site. I cannot believe they are coming for my original work.
Bro, thank you for the 5, Kazarian. Like, bro, come on now. Like, bro, come on. What are you playing at, dude? What are you playing at? Clearly, excellent sculptors. Clearly excellent sculptors, but the designs, dude. These are nowhere near original. They are identical. So even the arms, the pose is the same. You know what I mean? So, like, having these on here, being like, oh, this is the ones that Games Workshop are trying to take off me, like an eagle, you know what I mean? When I'm sure maybe a couple of these might pop up, you know? I'm sure maybe a couple of these might pop up in that 90% catalogue taken down. Oh, wow, I wonder what game they're intended to be used in. Inspired by not direct copy? Are you fucking high, bro? Are you on fucking roids? What you been injecting to your brain, dude? To be fair, he isn't marketing the models for 40k use specifically. People are using these models in 40k, it's not his problem. Yeah, but bro, come on now. Let's just breathe in a bit of oxygen. Breathe it out again. And let's go. Okay, they are fucking identical. They are actually identical. You know what I mean? Come on now. You see it, I see it. Even like the toes busting out the armor. You know? It's literally identical. Are we going to get to like a CSM Tomilord? These are the ones that I pulled out. You know, if there's any specific examples, then post them in Discord. If you type !Discord and then go to latest video chat, it's all free to join, don't worry. If you go to latest video chat and post some here that you've seen, if you've got some on your phone that you've been sending your mates, yeah, post them in here and we'll have a quick look. But yeah, these are just like, yeah, copy my homework but make it look different. And it's like, you didn't do a very good job. And these are just ones I randomly pulled out, you know. I'm sure there's loads. I'm sure there's hundreds, if not thousands at this point. But, like, this is just, like, an absolute piss take. Absolute piss take, in my opinion. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, like, an expert on this thing. But, like, come on now. Come on now. This is a joke. This is actually a joke, dude. I'm not sure what you're expecting, and to continue selling them for another 2 years when you could have just taken it down, you know? Corporate wants you to find difference in these two photos. Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally. Soul gems, no, those are spiritual stones. Yeah, like, even that, like, that is, like, it's just a design language that is so Games Workshop for Eldar. It's just putting the stones on the armor, you know? This is you cannot copyright an idea, only a specific expression of an idea. I don't know, bro. Looks like an expression of an idea, you know what I mean? Looks almost identical, one for one. Like, what is this? What is this other than Eldar? Explain to me that. Explain that to me. Even if it's all broadly the same concepts and similar pairs, that's not copyright infringement. Okay, bud. Okay, bud. Oh my god! Oh my lord, dude. What the hell? What the helly? What the helly? I know you can't copyright game rules, which is why Games Workshop makes them nonsensical. No one bothers to steal those. This is ridiculous, dude. That's 1 for 1. Again, if it was a floating tank, no one would bat an eye, but it's the design language of the front plate. It's all the same. You know? It's the design language of, like, the shapes. You know? Like, look how this shape is, you know? Like, cut in here with, like, raised bit on the right-hand side, then cut in again. Okay, he's changed it to the left side. That's not original. That's mirroring it. He's not being sued for copyright, though. It depends what unfair competition means, because in Italian law, unfair competition includes imitation. You know? Like we've already discussed, already brought up. Do I still have it? Unfair competition in Italian law is including imitation of products. So to say it's not copyright infringement might be quite misleading. He's being sued in Florida. Yeah, but where's he based, bro? Where's he based, bro? The demon prints of the Leviathan are probably the worst. Yeah, they're fucking ridiculous, dude. They're actually ridiculous. There's someone sent me another one. Mikey, to be totally fair, you have to admit there's only so many ways you can rip off a repulsor. Bro. Oh my goodness. Bro, what's this called? Is it like granddaddy of dead Shing? You know what I mean? Bro. He just fucking flipped the image, didn't he? Let's be honest, all he's done is flip the image. Mirroring is his get out of jail free card. Yeah, literally. One sec, chat. Chat, completely different. Completely different. Oh. Never means the same ever. It's the same guy. It's the same. It's just mirrored. No tactical rock. He has a tactical tile. I'm getting Spider-Man 1 glasses meme. Everyone. Yeah, it's like Clark Kent. Take off the glasses. Bro. Was it Last Stand? Bro, you're not even trying. Bro, not even trying anymore. Was he ever trying? Like, what are we playing at? What are we playing at? It's this literally the identical. Ah, yes, a highly copyrightable generic military officer with a gun. Yeah, with his sword poked in the ground as well. Exactly the same pose. All right, okay. Okay, bro. It's a commissioner. This one is obviously a space marine, but I don't think it's like identical to anything. Heretic, not Chaos. Grimwald, not Sigmar. See, this one has a lot of similar design language, like the trim and stuff, but I don't think it's not... That one is arguably probably more unique, except for the helmet. M is short for Ghamak. The sword is obviously in the ground the other way, yeah. Even down to the... He's got a book behind him. Oh, yeah, fuck. He's literally got a book behind him as well, like this one. Alternate sorcerer, it's identical. It's kind of close. I don't think it's identical. Grimwald, not Sigmar. Yeah, is it Grimwald, is it? What's this guy's name? Like, even these ones are pretty close, but they're at least more unique. Luther. That one's so generic, though. I don't know if... I think you probably get away with that. You know? This one's quite generic, so I think you could probably get away with this one quite easily. Why would they put the Eagle ones on GoFundMe? That's so dishonest. Because they want money. So I think, again, like with this one, like Belial, 100%. This one, 100%. This one, 100%. This one, 100%. I feel like with the ones that, like these ones, are a little bit harder. This one, not so much. This one, not so much. I think this one, ironically, is a bit harder because it's just robot. You know what I mean? They're just robot. This one is pretty close. But even, it's like the problem is like, they always just like copy symbols. Or symbol placement, and just change the symbol. Because even there, they're fairly unique, I would say. Whilst they are, you know, we can see they are Necron warriors. You know. Yeah, I think the problem is like the symbols in similar place, you know. So like it's still too similar. They're different enough that still read Necrons. Yeah, I would say with these ones, like these ones, this one. Maybe not the heavy destroyers. These ones, yeah, I think they're different enough where you see them and you think Necron, but they aren't Necron in design. Like compared to like this, you know what I mean? Which is just a repulsor flipped. It's not even just a repulsor flipped, it's just a repulsor. You know? Oh, it doesn't have the armor plates going up the side? Right, okay. Look at the gun barrels. Well, no, it's completely different. Yeah, I think these ones now. This one maybe, but just because of the... But I think it's because you're looking at, like, symbol and cloak. So I think the Necrons are different enough. But, like, yeah, to be, like, selling, like these, like the Land Raider, like the Wraith Knight, like the Demon Prince, and then to be like, oh, yeah, it's Games are trying to copyright me because of a lion. You know what I mean? It's like, it's quite disingenuous in my opinion. I do think this is very disingenuous. I don't think saying all of this and then being like, right, okay. You know, these are the ones that they've got a problem with. Especially when you said there wasn't. You said there wasn't a list, but now there is in 2025. However, there was an update. The main thing is like the lawsuit goes over a lot, was covered in the video, so I'm not going to re-go over it again. It's just saying what we're going over, what we're spending the money on. But there was an update, which is quite interesting. It says, October 10th, good evening. I want to start by saying a big thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you, kind words. And for encouraging me to stand up to Games Workshop was the right choice. The financial costs are tremendous. I'll explain how I use these funds by updating the fundraiser page. Before doing that, to share some private thoughts. This is scary. Sleepless nights thinking about how to do with a company so large that I cannot even begin to imagine how he would survive as a company after this event. Thanks to his fundraiser and find out just the first two has reached the litigation stage. However, other companies are reaching out to me, sharing their issues with Games Workshop, including GW, demanding them to sign away their creative rights for the future. So we are not alone in this. It would have helped Ghamak's case if he'd not used GW's names for a lot of descriptions. That's... Yikes. Isn't that just fucking the dumbest thing ever? The legal costs are only time about the impact we're suffering. The hidden costs are 6 months spent preparing documents for court, in addition to already intense working schedule of a small company, which leaves little time to our personal lives. That said, your moral support is important in the financial one, so I take this chance to say grazie to all those who are unable to financially but provide kind words of appreciation for the risk we're taking while litigating this matter in court. Why is the funding goal changing? Because I'm sure it was much lower when I first looked. Our initial goal is 100k euros, which will help us cover part of the attorney fees. So they're not even looking for 40k, looking for 100k. We have shared this update in the GW written summons as well as the docket registration of the case, which is pending before the Court of Catania. As a customer in the Italian jurisdiction, none of this information is available on the PST or Ministry of General Public. Only parties in the case have access. Are we misrepresenting the court case? Some people say that the Italian legal article 2598 is an all-press 5p actions in Italy and the equivalent of a DMCA claim. This is what, obviously, I initially thought. Infringement of intellectual property rights, trademarks, patents, copyrights on the one hand and Art 25981, 1, 2, and 3 of the Italian Civil Code. On the other are two discrete and distinct concepts under Italian law. The characterization, according to the article, appears to be just the normal process for IP actions to take place through is wrong. GW is arguing, Article 2598 only, the main basis that GW uses to argue 2598 is that the signs, elements, or shapes that Francesco used in his models would immediately identify them as models coming from GW. We dispute this. Our point being that GW is not able to demonstrate the distinctness of their models because the signs, elements, shapes present in Ghamak models draw from imaginary universes over which GW has no exclusive rights. Our lawyers believe that Article 2598 will set precedent since this appears to be the first case of its kind brought in front of a European court. If it should end with the finding that GW can claim Article 2598, which is a concept closer to look-alike in the UK or in Anglo-Saxon law system for any model depicting subjects or characters that Francesco's model depict, that would indeed create a troublesome precedent for a whole miniature 3D printed industry. So what they're saying, and chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that Games Workshop is saying that they use signs, elements, or shapes that would immediately identify them as coming from GW. But then Ghamak is saying that we don't use your logos, we have our own made-up ones. But are Games Workshop suing them for the logos or the shapes of the model? You know? Because, like, they don't technically use any... They don't have a Thousand Suns logo on here. But the shape of the silhouette is crazy. You know? No, the repulsors don't use spacemarine logos. They use generic iron crosses. But, like, the shape of it. You know? The shape is identical. Isn't that just Belial's logo? Doesn't Belial have this somewhere? No, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. You know? Those repulsors are so dope. Well, buy them while you can, bud. Buy them while you can, you know what I mean? Oh, fuck, he's done it. Chat, he's done it again. Chat, he's done it again. Oh, I've got it here. Chat, he's done it again. Look, watch. Watch. Fuck! He's done it again. He just turned it upside down. Oh, look, it's an Archangel logo again. Wait a minute, what's on his leg? It's just a Dark Angel logo. It's just an Archangel logo, chat. He didn't even try. The sword's the wrong way. They forgot to flip it. And it's got a lion on it. Oh, bro. Asking for a disaster, dude. Asking for disaster. Has this got lions on it? No. Goddamn, Belial doesn't have lions on his free. Oh, there is a fucking logo there, though. Look at that. Wings and a sword. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, chat? You know what I mean? Isn't that fucking wild? Isn't that crazy? The wings go up, not down. I support independent creators, but this dude does not pass the vibe check. He's being willfully obtuse to get GoFundMe support. I think, like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think willingly obtuse is probably quite accurate, I would say. You know? Chat, we didn't consider the sword logo on his emblem. do you think it would be funny if they was like, they went to court and they were like, look at this fucking dickhead on YouTube, and he just turned it upside down, it's the same. I think we've got him. Yeah, deliberately obtuse is probably the issue I'm having with it. This is not Belial, it's Kilial or Silial. Just flip the whole emblem. Yeah, true. So they've actually shown, well, let me keep reading the, oh god, let me keep reading this. So yeah, so basically he's saying that like the logos are not the same. You know, these don't use Games Workshop logos. They use logos that are from their made-up universe, which is obviously like Necrons is a prime example of like very, very similar, but the logos are unique. You know, and if Games Workshop are suing them for logos, it wouldn't work for this because there aren't any Games Workshop logos on it. Let's have a look at the actual lawsuit he shared then. I don't speak Italian though, so we might struggle. Calling the caterpillar all over again. I mean, potentially. Potentially. Games Workshop, a company incorporated under the laws of Great Britain, tax code, registered office at Willow. In the person of its legal representative in Games Workshop Italia, in the person of its pro tempore legal representative, jointly represented defenders the authenticated special powers of attorney attached to his deed under Annex A and Annex B by attorneys. So they're being summoned via Italy, so they're not being sued by Florida, right? Someone said they're being sued in Florida, but is this not a summon in Italian court? Which is probably why they think they can get like sue for it. I just misspoke before. That's my misreading. I'm a dummy. But it's okay. We all make mistakes. You know what I mean? I took you for word because I thought that was the case because the big lawsuit with like Galactic Army was all from the US. You know what I mean? So yeah, I took you word for word, but it's fine. It does mean that the Italian law that we brought up for unfair competition is still up for debate, right? Because that's what this is. The grounds declared Games Workshop the infringement of the trademarks by defendant, unfair competition by the defendant. So, like, infringement of trademarks is using the logos, and then unfair competition. So that's the one that's like in the air because he said it's not copyright infringement, but is not point A copyright infringement. Put an image of Discord of Ghamak Frigate to flip the y-axis of the Dark Angels logo. Oh, bro. Bro, it's identical. Ah, dude. Dude, what was he thinking? What was bro thinking? Let's have a look at these fucking shoulder not even try. Where have we gone? Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Not even trying, bro. Not even trying. That's copyright infringement right there. Because they're using their own logos, you know? Whilst it's wings with a sword, You know, it's very famously... It's very famously, you know? Pulled an Icarus, flew way too close to the sun and burned. Yeah, yikers, that's what I say. This is a yikers. So yeah, so infringement of the trademarks by the defendant, unfair competition, which is the one that's still in the air. Violation of Article 2598, Paragraph 1 of the number 1 slavish imitation, which we spoke about. So violation of 2598 is talking about imitation of product, you know. And then 258 number 2, the Italian Civil Code for misappropriation of merits or hooking. So, as far as I understand, this one, A, logos, B, which is these, which is imitation, which will be the silhouettes, right? And then this one, misappropriation of merits or hooking. This will probably be them using unit names. Which do they actually do? Has anyone got an example of them using a unit name? Vengeful Angels Veterans. I mean, that's fine, but like, you know, it's pretty close. And then 2598 Paragraph 1 number 3 of Italian Civil Code, misappropriation of another's work, parasitic competition, and acts contrary to professional fairness. That's the weird one, right? He used gas coal. Right, okay. Let's find out. Gas... Really? Nah. Nah. I know I spelled it wrong. I'm just trying to find the miniature. Gazgull. I can't find it. Never mind. Damage suffered by plaintiffs, so yada yada yada. Anyway, this is kind of what I was referring to with this article, right? Because he's saying that it's like it's unfair. They're going for unfair competition. But if unfair competition means imitation, using the names of the products that you're trying to copy, and then because you're copying, they can also go for parasitic competition, right? So this might just be like overreach, this third one, for the parasitic competition, because usually what happens with that with lawsuits is they go for more than they actually care about, because then they don't mind if it gets one bit gets written off. I feel like, and this is only from my personal understanding, it's like with lawsuits, they'll go for point X, point Y, and they're like the main two, and then they're kind of like, well, we're going for them anyway, so we'll go for Z. So the judge can be like, no, we'll throw that out, and then they'll be like, can't believe you threw out Z. Fuck over X and Y though, you know. It's a fine line to walk, and I hate to say it, but it does feel like a little blatant imitation and passing off. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it feels a little misleading, which is an issue, you know. I feel like a lot of it's quite misleading in the statement in the video. So let's keep looking anyway. What else have I got to say? Trying to zoom in on these fucking images is awful. You know. I might just download them. I'm going to open a new tab. I'm an idiot. Will that work? Let's find out. He's doing it live, chat. He's doing it live. Okay. This is someone's Gateway Shop Limited and the Gateway Shop Italy representative dependent domiciled as above for the reasons set out below. The person, Francesco Pisa, certified email address, extracted from INP registers to be in court of Catania. Catania? In the hearing of 18th of June 2025, the 70 days of the aforementioned hearing, pursuant to and the manner provided by Article 166 of the Code of Civil Procedure, with the warning to fail to appear within aforementioned times will result in forfeiture, blah, 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 blah. Come to court. Aston declared that the defendant's conduct is described in more detail pleading as it constitutes unfair competition pursuant to Article 2598 of the Italian Civil Code, paragraph 1, numbers 1, 2, and 3, and detriment to the plaintiffs. Enjoin the defendant pursuant to Article 124 of the IP Code from continuing repeating all offences reported in the pleading. So that's where the sign over of creative rights is. It's that we don't want you to continue making stuff as Ghamak. You know what I mean? Copy and paste it to ChatGPT and ask for a summary. Genius. Ghamak translates as workshop of games in Italy. No. No, it doesn't, dude. No, it doesn't, bro. No, it doesn't. Okay. Again, to permanently join the defendant pursuant to Article 124 of the Italian IP Code and Article 259 of the Italian Civil Code for any and future exploitation, use, dissemination, including advertised and/or promotional activities of any means and any form, including electronically on the signs using a violation of trademarks as well as the signs that are likely to create confusion with the products and/or business activities of the plaintiffs. So they're just shutting them down, basically. You know, this is like, if you are not going to take down what we've asked for, we're going to shut your company down completely. Definitive withdrawal from the market of all for infringed miniatures, so let's just take them down. And then pursuant to Article 124, a penalty of 1,000 or such amount deemed fair paid by the defendant for each instance of non-compliance and or day of delay in the execution of the judgment to be issued. Woof. How many? 90% of the catalogue? How many do they have on my mini factory? 1,286. Let's say 100 of them are bundles. Let's say it's 100. Let's say 286 are bundles. That's 1,000 instances of 1,000 euros a day that they don't comply, that they're asking for, which they won't get. You know, they won't get that, but you know, it's the threat. He was hovering over a new tab to bring up Google Translate. I was. Or any other appropriate measure pursuant to Article 259 to prevent continuation, limiting the effects of infringement committed by the defendant. By way of evidentiary measures, order the disclosure of the defendant's accounting records, invoices, and any other documents related to or in any way connected to the infringed miniatures created, manufactured, purchased, advertised, and or sold by the defendant. Chat, they're coming for you. Chat, they're coming for you. Did you buy from Ghamak? You're on the line. They're going to send you Games Workshop newsletters and be like, Ghamak, cringe, Games Workshop based. You know? They're going to come after you. They're going to be like, bro, you're on our newsletters now. Don't you dare buy any STLs. They're gonna be in your inbox. Be like, you got an email from Elegoo? Get fucked, I'm coming for you as well. I better sell all the M-Pulse attacks I downloaded and printed. Pinkerton's coming to take the STLs off your hard drive. Now, jokes aside, the reason they want this, as been pointed out in chat, the reason they want this is not to come around to your house and take away all your 3D printed models. It's so they can be like, look how much you sold. This is how much they made. This is how much we should have made. Let's sue him for all that as well. You know? It's to be like, this is how much you made from us. So we get that money, but also if we'd sold all those models individually, we would have made this money, so we need that as well. You know? Need to send videos of deleting files and burning toys in GW by the end of the week. They're gonna come for you, chat. They want your name, address, email. Guys, let's go around stamp on your toys. Yeah. Gonna come stamp on your toys and then realise that you've not hollowed them out properly, so they're full of uncured resin, and then they're gonna sue you for poison damage, like hazardous poison damage, a poisonous injury. So they want all the information. Revenues, consequent profits achieved by the defendant, including through the production of data related to special orders for infringed miniatures processed by the defendant, resulting from the dashboards of the accounts attributable to the defendant on the My Manufacturing Patreon platforms, through which the unlawful activity is carried out, including the related sales volume revenues attributed by said platforms to Ghamak. Again, by the way of evidentiary measures, appointing a court technical advisor to quantify the pecuniary and non-pecuniary damage suffered to be secured by the plaintiffs as a result of the defendant's conduct. As a result, the defendants compensate the plaintiffs pursuant to Article 125, paragraphs 1-2 of the IP Code of the Civil Code for all damages suffered and to be suffered by the plaintiffs as a result of the offences reported. Like I said, they want to know how much you've sold, how much we could have sold if we'd sold them all individually, and you owe us that much, added together. Probably added together. I don't think they'll be doing a difference. They'll check your brick card for licensed toys only, then smash what's not theirs. True. Truly, truly. Or is there any more? Oh, it's only giving us the cropped bit. I'm an idiot. We've read that one. And then the last one. Assisted the court appointed the accountant, taking into account all relevant aspects such as the negative economic consequences, including loss of profits suffered by the plaintiffs, also in light of benefits realised by the defendant, in addition to moral damages and all expenses incurred by the plaintiffs in protecting their rights. So they're suing them for every penny they've got, every penny that it's costing them to sue them, every penny they've got, to sue them for how much they've sold and how much they could have sold. And then, in any case, all of the defendant pursuant to Article 1253 to return the profits made by the defendant in violation of the plaintiff's rights as an alternative to compensation of the plaintiff's loss of earnings, or to the extent that they exceed such compensation, and will the costs and fees proceedings plus VAT and CPA as required by law. So, like, they've shown off quite a lot of the lawsuit, but they've not shown all of it, which again is just cherry picking. But also, I don't think this helps them. You know, I feel like they've cherry picked, you know, the 7 pages of the 39-page document. I don't think this helps their situation whatsoever. I think this solidifies the fact that I think they might be kind of misrepresenting exactly what's happening, you know? Now, the legal ramifications of this lawsuit are very interesting. Because it's like, if Games Workshop are successful in this lawsuit, which, if it went to court tomorrow, I have no doubt that they'd win quite a lot, you know? The thing is with it is because if they start going like, you know, all of these court cases, all of these articles to be like, they're like profiting from us and they're parasitic and it's like, or it's like unfair competition because they're using our names and stuff like that, then they could use that against a lot, you know. They could go ahead and use that against a lot of other like 3D designers. Like anything remotely Games Workshop related, they would fuck them for it. So I'm very interested to see how the proceeding goes. I don't think like Ghamak as a company are completely innocent at all. I do think they have done the big fuck up. You know what I mean? I do think they have like foot in mouth moment of like, oh, actually, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be just flipping the model in fucking ZBrush and doing a quick mirror to get away with it. But also, I think like it's quite a scary one if you are like a 3D designer of anything else that's like slightly Games Workshop related, you know, like conversion parts, etc. And just 3D printing in general, like pretty scary. But like these ones are just, let's be honest, are just a piss take. You know what I mean? In my opinion, these are just a piss take. But there's some designs that aren't. Like the ones I showed at the start, they're all his own designs. I don't think that this company deserves to have their complete operation taken down. But like clearly there's an issue here, you know? But yeah, that's the thing. It's like the parasitic competition. It sounds harsh, but like a lot of 3D designers basically rely on the fact that people want cheap copies, alternative copies, cool custom parts, etc. All of this because like people like having the option. And I don't think that's necessarily an issue of like having like 3D printable designs that are similar that kind of like stand-ins, because we've had proxies for like since Games Workshop inception, but like there's so many now and they're so close now that like Games Workshop is obviously going to sue. It's not unheard of for a company to go and sue something that's using their IP. Look at Nintendo, you know, look at Pokemon, all that stuff, you know. It's like it's obvious that's going to happen. But like to be coming out and being like, oh, we're being sued because of unfair competition, and it's like, bro, come on now. You know what I mean? So like, I wish them the best. You know what I mean? I would rather a little guy win than a big multi-million-dollar company. But like, come on now, dude. Come on. So yeah, best of luck to you. I won't be donating because I don't think this is a good idea. I think if you listened to the cease and desist like 2 years ago and gone, right, okay, well, we can't completely cease operation, but you know, give us a bit of leeway. Yeah, understandable, because I'm obviously saying that Games Workshop wouldn't get back in touch with him, but like these ones, like I said, the ones that he's showing on the GoFundMe are obviously ridiculous. But any further research after that, it's just a yikes. How does Tortuga Bay get away with it? That shit is identical. Aren't Tortuga Bay based in Ukraine? Probably for the optics. Probably for the optics, you know what I mean? The thumbnail says what I think about the campaign. Yeah. The name is a giveaway of how many forks they give. Yeah, literally. It's nice though. Might get one. It's nice. Might get one. Like that is ridiculous. It's Malum Kaido. It's called Miroslav Kaido. It's not even trying, bro. It's not even trying, dude. It's identical. Even the cross on the belt buckle. Bro, they've got the Ukraine pass, you know what I mean? They've got the Ukraine pass. Reviews. Nice. It's a nice sculpt. Yeah, it's gorgeous. These are fucking ridiculous. Is that the fucking Squidward meme in miniature? They did cut the ties of that Ukraine book company. Ah, that's true. Maybe they don't have the pass. Galaxy Legions. Bro. Bro. They said the shoulder pads upside down. Check out Dragoon Gaming Space Marines. Do they make minis? Or just bits? Excuse me. Ah. Do they make miniatures? Because, like, I feel like bits get away with it, you know? Because ultimately, it's like an upgrade part and you can't sue for it. It's when you're selling direct replacement. This isn't direct replacement, you know what I mean? Female Space Marines? Minis on the top bar. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Character models. The thing is with these is that they don't make these, you know. Yes, King Female Marines. Let's go! The Marines! The thing is with it, they don't make a guy on a bike. God, they're fucking almost, like, again, design language, identical. The Rogodon looks like the resin model. It's Saboden. They copied it. Yeah. I don't know what they expect. You know what I mean? Very cool. Yeah, they're cool. I know how Magical gets started selling Emperor model. There's no Emperor model. You know? What they did, compare it to a picture they drew once. Saboden, that's dumb-mode. The thing is that GW is going against art which is obviously better than theirs, then no longer relevant. It's the Fisher Price Demon Prince, bro. You high. It's the we have Hellbrute at home. Then Joy Toy have the rights. Yeah, they're licensed. Joy Toy have the rights to make their stuff. They have a license. They got a pass. They got a battle pass, you know. Some of the bad takes sending me here. Yeah, the bad takes are pretty nuts, to be honest. You know? I know, like, the thing is when you cover, like, stories that are quite big, you get new people in, which I do appreciate. And hearing other people's opinion is what I like. But, like, come on now. You know? Come on now, bro. I think they think, make hay while the sun shines. The problem is in making hay while the sun shines is the taxman always comes. The taxman is the owner of the hay. So yeah, so I think personally, it's definitely an interesting one. I think, yeah, like I said, maybe slightly misrepresenting exactly what's happening to garner support, which, you know, if you're in desperate times, desperate measures, you know what I mean? It's a bit like if you're struggling, sometimes you have to kind of pull out all the stops. But it's gonna be one of those where I kind of like, I'm definitely gonna be watching it. I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on it. But it's not something that I'm like, it's not something that I think I can openly support, you know, because it seems a little wild. Sounds like he's buried his head and now they're scrambling. Yeah. If what he says is true though about like asking for asking for a list of infringing models and then just ignored him, that's a little different, you know what I mean? That's a little weird. If that's the case, in court he could be like, give us a list of models and we'll take them down, you know? It could just be like, we never received a list of models, so we didn't know what to take down. But then it sounds like they did in January 2025, because then he says, like, after my manufacturer refused to remove Ghamak's model due to lack of information provided by GW, this controversy escalated to a full lawsuit in 2025. Interestingly, the lawsuit, which lists over 1,000 models, did not include any copyright infringement claim, but was framed as unfair competition. But again, like, we kind of know that that might be, you know, a bit of a funky legal jargon to say the same thing but sounds different. So obviously these are the ones from my mini factory that they've asked to take down that have probably been shared with Ghamak, because obviously he's the one who's having to take them down. But yeah, I think it's like misrepresented to say these are the problems when we've already gone over all the other issues. So definitely an interesting one. I'll keep you up to date. If there's any more information, we'll keep an eye and try and keep on top of it and try and see what comes of it. But it's probably gonna be quite a slow process because of this. The thing is with it is they've got to go through every single article. You know, it's honestly very funny that it's deliberately put in examples that look nothing like the counterparts. Again, misrepresentation, I think. You know, arguing in bad faith, yeah. When we've clearly seen some real issues with it. GW only has to do this to one piss taker, and now and again it'll scare the others with the cease and desist. Publicly traded companies are meant to defend their IP. Yeah, these are things that are always going to happen, you know. Putting the bad examples in there is just burning goodwill when he doesn't need to. Yeah, I totally agree. It's just like I said, it's like, it feels a bit like backhanded to be like, I need your support, but then kind of like not lying, but like, yeah, like obscuring some facts, it feels like. You know? If it's 90%, it's arguably, with, you know, 1 in 10 examples is not correct, you know? But if you look at 90% of his catalogue, 1 in 10 not being copyright infringing, the rest do look copyright infringing, you know? Is it deliberate choice of nasty crab girl rouge the bat feeds play while you talk about this? Stop reading me. Stop reading me, bro. Gaslighting people into believing is right. It's manipulation 101. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So yeah, I won't be donating because I think it's misleading. But yeah, if you like these models, buy them while you can. Thing is, the people are always going to defend themselves. They won't ever admit they stop anything. Well, yeah, because they make fucking bank. You know? They make bank. That's why. Like, it's paying for 12 people's, like, wages. That's the issue. It's like, because of this, they're probably going to struggle in the future. It got 10,000 patrons. How much? Is there a free tier? There's no free tier. 10,000 at $10 a month minimum. There's a Reddit post I forgot to read, actually, before I end the video. But it said, Ghamak lawsuit is completely fair for GW. I've seen so many people just take this case at face value and instantly say, oh, GW is sue, they bad, and not put any thought into it. Beyond that, so I'll try and clear up this post for some actual details so people should know. 1. GW is suing Ghamak in Italy as such a translation stickers can be poor. Unfair competition doesn't mean in Italian the same thing as it does in English. In legal sense, effectively it's the same as traditional copyright law. In addition, Ghamak is perfectly aware of how the English translation makes his lawsuit seem to English consumers, and knows he can milk some cash from their sympathy because of it. Ghamak's models are not different or distinct from the GW models. If you look at his website compared to his GoFundMe, you can see it's heavily cherry-picked to make him look better, as most of his models are almost direct rip-offs from the GW store. Ghamak previously 2 years ago received cease and desist from GW, which he did not comply with, keeping the models they requested taken down up to the point of the current lawsuit. And that's the thing, he would have never gone to a lawsuit if he'd just taken some down. GW is not going after all third-party groups, so you're only going after ones that like Ghamak, make near replicas prints of GW's own models. I understand that people don't like GW pricing, but if you are going to sell models for an IP you don't own or have a license for, you should at very least try and make them different. Don't expect to be different from Icarus. If you fly too close to the sun, you're going to get burned. GW is going to defend the money pit that is 40k religiously, so third-party sellers need to walk the line between recognition and distinction to make money off this hobby, and many of them do. But like Ghamak, some, the minority sellers, seem to think that the massive company that owns the setting they profit of is just completely obligated to let them copy and license with zero consequence and then cry to public about abuse and how GW is forcing them out unfairly. Yeah, I upvoted this just to save it, but I would upvote it now. Yeah. Like I said, I just kind of disagree with this post now. I love all the brokies defending him. Are we calling 3D printer bros brokies? 3D brokies. That's the thing, you know, like with that huge lawsuit that they had where they sent loads of people cease and desist, it was like odd models, it wasn't everything. Whereas like Ghamak, it feels like everything's getting taken down, but it's all, there's so many examples. Chat, why is everyone talking about the floating bookshelves? Has no one ever seen a floating bookshelf before? The real brokers even stole his STLs. Yeah, they'll be on fucking Telegram or something before the end of the night. Chat, it's a floating bookshelf. It's a piece of metal. Why do you keep talking about his floating shelves? I think what's weirder now is I think that he might be like misrepresenting exactly what's happening. The cuts are crazy. It's like a fucking telemarketing
to stay closer to my family in Italy. In 2018, I launched Ghamak.
But how do it work? Oh, chat, I'm not even going to answer. I'm not even going to entertain it. Not an accurate summary of Italian law, or according to the expert ChatGPT. Okay. I think we're going to end it there. I think we're going to end it there, bro. He didn't even say knowledge. I'm here in my garage, absorbing knowledge. Yeah, that guy recently got arrested. Oh, he's got, there's a call for his arrest out in a minute. Yeah, weird one. Definitely a weird one. Both parties are playing to their best out, so to speak, but one's clearly more malicious about it, and for once it isn't GW. You can think current IP law is bad, and I agree it needs to be shorter term, thanks Disney. But in the system as it exists right now, you have no choice. You have to defend your IP. It's not a passive protection. If you let your stuff slide, you either lose standing because the court starts to think you don't care about consistently defending your property. B, give a potential out to future suits of unfair treatment in the vein of, well, they didn't go after those previous guys, so it's clearly something aside from the product that makes them go after us/me. GW is following both the letter and the spirit of the law to a T here. Everything they're doing is fully legitimate within the system as it exists. Ghamak, on the other hand, in my opinion, deliberately abusing his ESL status. The fact that most people don't know Italian to misrepresent the lawsuit is something it's not. Not clarifying it's essentially just a regular copyright case in English terms because the direct Italian translation sounds scarier. He's also asking for crowdfunding for his legal fees when his shop is doing well, and he's no doubt doing very well for an Italian. You pay shipping on his store while the prices are low. The margins on 3D printers are essentially 90%. I would not be surprised if he settles and removes the models without going to trial and the legal money disappears. We've seen GoFundMes happen like this all the time. People are pretty objective to jumping on this for fuck GW without really thinking about this scenario. Yeah, whatever happened to like E-Man's lawsuit? You know? There was E-Man, the guy who was just taking Total War miniatures and just re-uploading them. As an example. He only got $12,000. Didn't kick up a fuss enough. After a long costly 10-month the claimant and I finally reached an agreement to settle, which was confirmed and signed by both parties on July 19th. Huh. It ended then. Yeah, weird one. If bro's making like 100 grand a month, is that the maths? $10 a month from 10,000 people. Does he need legal fees? That's probably why they're going after him, because he's making like $1 million a year. E-Man was straight up stealing, he was. It's 2025. 3D printers have changed everything, and you're here defending a relic of a company that sells you plastic for the price of weed. Tell us more about ethics and stuff. World War baby with the boomer ass attitude. All right, bro. Team of 12. Yeah, team of 12. He said. 100k minimum, assuming everyone's at the lowest tier. Some will be at the higher tier, so it's probably more than 100k depending on Patreon's take. Yeah, Patreon will have a cut, don't forget. I don't know how much the cut is. Probably not cheap. There's commercial tiers, $100 a month. What does that even mean? I don't know, bro. 3D printer bros. 3D printer bros have been smelling too many resin fumes. I love 3D printing. But, like, you know I've got to go outside, touch some grass sometimes, get some fresh air, maybe open a window before I start talking on the internet. Team of 12 getting a LinkedIn premium this week. Fuck me. Fucking hell, dude. Ah. 3D printers exist, so companies should be allowed to maintain their IP as certainly a take. Yeah. It's a fucking dumb one. It's a take of all time. I think Patreon is around 10 to 12%. Yeah, so it's getting probably close, probably like 100k or plus. a month. After staff fees, 12 of them, 25k, 30k a month. You know? Not doing bad. Not doing bad, bro. There's no two there thinks it's the law. The guy's making bank by ripping someone off just because he's ripping off a shitty company doesn't make it legal. Yeah. And they yeah, of course he's paying tax, etc. But like, you know, you pay less tax if you spend it all. You know what I mean? You pay less tax if you spend it all. So if you spend it all on a lawsuit, you're gonna get taxed less. But it's like just asking for trouble, really. That's just his Patreon. Yeah, he's up My Mini Factory as well. You know, he's up My Mini Factory as well, which is where he sells the STLs. He's got his website where he sells STLs. Bro's making a lot. Probably making 100k profit a month. You know. Maybe if they release a Deathwatch data sheets, people would steal their IP. Are you even going to bother changing it? What's going to be new about the new... Well, I suppose the options, right? I've watched this entire stream all the way through so far, and all I've thought is, holy shit, Tom's picked the same name as us. Well, James, I hate to break it to you. You picked the same name as Tom. Tom's baby's like 3 months old now. Does not convince the consumer does better when similar but not actually duplicated designs are crushed. As a consumer, no, it's shit. But like, I'm not talking as a consumer. I'm talking as a like a fucking just a person looking at it. You know what I mean? You know, like no, as a consumer, having cheaper options removed is shit. Cheaper options, and that's why they're trying to get rid of it. You know, as a consumer, it's fucking. I wish I could buy Games Workshop models at 3% of the cost. You know, I'm sure you can find them. Do what you want, but like, if even Games Workshop's world, that wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? I believe Tommy's going to see you under unfair competition. We insist on keeping the same name. Fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant, dude. Well done, well done. Yeah, if we're talking from like a consumer perspective, nah, getting it's shit. The fact that they're getting rid of the competition, but that's not really what we're talking about. It's talking about the fact that whether they should be sued or not. Which, let's be honest, this is always going to happen. So, clone models on Temu. Yeah, Games Workshop would sue the fuck out of Temu if they could. They'd sue the fuck out of AliExpress. They'd sue the fuck out of everything, you know? You know what I mean? All these Chinese recasters, they'd fuck them if they could. They can't, though. There's this one, right? This one where my mate showed it me, and it was like a website that was like a clothing website. It was like the most generic shit you've ever seen. You know, and it was like some fucking like plain t-shirt, and it was like £35 or something. And it's like fucking t-shirt, jumper, whatever. But then it had like a little log into your account at the top. You log in, bam, law, £3 each. You know what I mean? Like a fucking repulsor, £9. An Atropos, 15 quid or whatever. Absolutely crazy. And it's just like the fucking level that store is all running through word of mouth, because it's like, if you don't log in, it's just a clothing store. How are they going to do anything about it? You know? That was a rip-off because it was made of resin. Made of resin, not printed. Made of resin on a sprue. And it was 9 quid or something stupid. I was just like, what the fuck? This is crazy. the level, the discreetness that they're using now, and still making money because clearly people are on it and buying stuff. Real big check the purple site energy. It's yeah, it was just like, yeah, it's a fucking clothing website, and then suddenly it isn't. Crazy. The online equivalent of those barbershops that never seem to have people getting their hair cut and only take cash. Yeah, literally. Literally, dude. Literally. So. It's the pale mint sign. Bits is lost. Yeah, Bits suing for like parts is lost cause after Chapter House Studios, I think. Chapter House Studios set precedent that like bits and converting parts were fine. They couldn't stop that. What they could stop is everything else, like direct full models. Do you think if there's someone ordered a shirt at foil, they'd cancel the order? I presume to send them a refund, you know what I mean? There's a well-known site in the UK that people are openly selling recasts to. Just say it into the microphone, please. Let us know. Let us know. All they have to do is sell parts. Yeah, probably. But then you wouldn't sell as much, you know what I mean? I don't think like Great Tide Studios are making 100k a month on Patreon from parts. Making good money. Probably making pretty good money. But you know what I mean? It's like the reason this is all like personal now, you know what I mean? The reason Ghamak is making so much money is because he's making cheaper alternatives, and that's kind of what Games Workshop is going for. Whereas like alternative bits to upgrade a mini that you have to go buy from a shop is like very different, you know what I mean? You know? Like, if he was just selling bits, I don't think he'd be being sued for as much. I feel like we're kind of going like a roundabout way to kind of realizing what the lawsuit's about. It's because you can go and print like a full army for like way cheaper. That are basically one-to-ones. If it was conversion parts, I don't think Games Workshop would care, or they wouldn't be able to do much about it, one or the other. Ford can't sue a company that makes nuts and bolts that happen to fit a Ford car. Yeah, but they went and fucking had a Ford car that was called a Ford, then they'd probably sue them, you know what I mean? You know what I find funny about 3D printer bros is they're always bad at painting. I've never seen a nice looking 3D printed army. It's always the fastest painted shit you've ever seen. You know? It's always rush painted, you know? Like, what's the rush, bro? Take your time. Shit, beggar trading my Fjord X car. Why do 3D printed armies always look... Why do they always look shit? You know? Why do they never look nice? Yeah, but we've put the forward side upside down. And backwards. And backwards. A dwarf. This is exactly the point. It's 100% legal in the UK, and I presume most of the rest of the world to sell compatible parts. If not, Nestle will sue the shit out of everyone selling pods. Yeah, like, that's like why when you go and get your car fixed, you know what I mean? Especially in the UK. There's always third-party parts. There's not a third-party car, though. You know? That's kind of... I feel like we've got a few people in chat are going round in circles. You know? Going round in circles, trying to, like, do mental gymnastics of, like, how Games Workshop are in the wrong. Where, like, Games Workshop is shutting down for making identical stuff, not compatible stuff. You know? Anyway, it's 9:15. I've ranted about the same point over and over again. I feel like I'm getting nowhere with people in chat. Some of you get it. A few grey names don't. If you're a grey name, make sure you become a member, because then your opinion's worth more in this chat. That's just kind of how this works around here. Yeah, it's very capitalist, but that's the society we live in. Become a member if you haven't already. And I'll be live again on Wednesday morning. Hopefully with some more interesting news. It's probably going to be about a lawsuit, let's be honest. It's green names get it, true. Green names stay on top, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be live again Wednesday, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. Love you all, and bye-bye. Love you all. If you're green name, you understand. Appreciate you. Animal Farm style socialism, literally. Pepperidge Farm socialism. Pepperidge Farm remembers we live in capitalist society and we're all going to burn and die, but, you know, at least we can Google stuff with AI. That's great. I'm always on top. Threatening. Anyway, love you all. Bye-bye.